Tonight, shorter towers, fewer units, and more green spaces.
We want to encourage density instead of sprawl.
Revamp plans for 3 new high-rise buildings going up near the Queensway Carleton Hospital. A ceasefire in Gaza halts the fighting.
There's going to be a lot of psychological things they got to deal to get back to this, civil type of organizations of living.
Thousands of displaced Palestinians make the long journey back home. Provincial Skills Development Fund controversy.
Not fair, transparent, or accountable.
The Ontario Labour Minister's office downplaying reports of who stood to benefit receiving millions of dollars. And it's the Thanksgiving long weekend in the capital.
Everyone loves the show. They love that it comes back every year.
We also check out the fall colors in the Ottawa Valley. Good evening. Austin is away tonight. We begin with a renewed debate over a major high-rise project just off of Baseline Road. Developer Brigil has filed an updated plan for the area, and while some welcome the changes, others say it's still too big for the neighborhood. The plan is to build 3 more high-rise buildings on Sandcastle Drive along Baseline Road near the Queensway Carleton Hospital. CTV's Josh Moreno joins us now live in studio with more from those residents that live nearby. Josh.
Yeah, Kimberly, the latest version of Brigil's proposal tones things down a little bit. Shorter towers, fewer units, and more green spaces, but with more buildings planned for the site. People living nearby still have mixed feelings about the proposed towers being built.
For months, this site at Baseline Road has been at the center of a heated debate over how much growth this neighborhood can handle.
It's a lot of people in a very small space.
Now the site's developers, Brigil, have come back with a plan. One that still aims high, but with a few changes.
I think the density is going to be a little heavy duty. Anybody living on this side, it's certainly going to interfere with their view, with their sunshine and things like that.
The updated proposal includes 3 new residential towers, with the tallest now 30 stories instead of 32. In total, Brigil wants to build 871 housing units and about 585 parking spaces on the property.
I guess they're trying to encourage people to use public transit.
We need more housing. Canada needs something like 1 million new homes every year just to keep up with natural population.
The layout has also been reworked, opening up more room for trees, pathways, and a small public plaza.
It would cut our skyline. So like right now I'm on the 7th floor on the corner. So I would have no view of the lovely hills.
But for some, the thought of more construction in the area comes with a cost.
A lot of people work nights and then they're sleeping during the day and they can't sleep during the day because there's construction going on. So I know there's a lot of Queensway folks who would be appreciative of some sort of reprieve from some construction work.
The size of the project does give residents pause. However, it is a 800 plus units on an area that isn't well served by transit. And so we are taking a closer look at some of those implications.
Councillor for the ward, Lane Johnson, says she's heard these concerns, but notes the plan does work with the city's plan policies, encouraging density in more urban areas.
This project does create a new housing typology for College Ward with apartments that are so desperately needed, whether it's young people or even older adults that want to downsize and don't want to move out to the edge of the city. So there are a lot of benefits to welcoming this kind of project in this area.
We reached out to Brigil but did not receive a response before our deadline, and residents have until October 21st to submit comments about the project before city staff bring the project to the Planning and Housing Committee and later City Council for their final decision. Kim.
CTV's Josh Moreno reporting live for us tonight. Thank you very much, Josh. CTV Ottawa has extended coverage of the plan and the concerns of building 3 more high-rise buildings along Baseline Road. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. It's the last weekend to take in the fall colors on a unique ride through the sky in Calabogie. CTV's Dylan Dyson went out to take one last look before those autumn leaves fall for the season.
At
At Calabogie Peaks, don't look down or you may just fall for these festive colors.
Yeah, I love coming out and seeing all the scenery. I think it's gorgeous to come and see it all.
It's the final weekend of the Fall Colors chairlift at the ski resort in Calabogie, and with just 2 days left to see the sights of the region from the sky, crowds are turning out for the picture-worthy scenes this long weekend.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, great pictures, lots of fun. The chairlift was really fun.
After a warmer than average autumn, fall colors are beginning to fade across eastern Ontario. Algonquin Park's Fall Colors report says its maple, poplar, and birch trees are past their primes and will soon shed their leaves. The NCC's Fall Rhapsody color meter says leaves are still in peak season in the Greenbelt and Gatineau Park. Rain and overcast skies Saturday, dampening the vibrancy.
It's pretty good. It's a little muted with the lack of sunshine, but I hear that's coming, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Absolutely beautiful. I think it would have been better if there was sun. If the sun had been a little brighter today, I think it would have been a lot better.
Jeff Chamberlain among those making the most of their Thanksgiving long weekend.
We're actually staying in Almont, but we decided to come up here to do the hike around the mountain and up to Eagle's Nest. To get out of the city, enjoy the colors, and beautiful weekend.
Definitely a tradition that we're trying to start too. Yeah, it's beautiful. We've been out to Gatineau Park myself a few times, and this is equally as nice.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Calabogie.
And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details and a lovely photo gallery of all the beautiful colors right across the Ottawa Valley and the National Capital Region. All right, we'll take our first check of weather here. This is a look at the log farm there behind me, a tractor ride that's going through the area. Again, it was a great day if you're out and about in the Ottawa area. A little overcast, but still a lovely Saturday. 17 degrees is what we're looking at here for the Ottawa area. Again, mainly cloudy is what we're dealing with. The sun did peek out a little bit here and there throughout the day. Now, as for our overnight lows, we're looking at single digits. 5 degrees for Ottawa, same thing for Cornwall and Brockville. 8 degrees with some overcast skies towards Kingston and Trenton. Look at that, 1 degree in Bancroft, 2 degrees for Kittigan-Zibi, and 4 for the Pembroke area. Looking at Petawawa, they have 4 degrees there, 4 in Gatineau as well, 3 for Mont-Tremblant, 7 in Montreal, 5 degrees, clear conditions for Kemptville. We'll take a look at tomorrow's highs. We've got 20 degrees in sunshine here for Ottawa, 20 degrees as well along the Seaway, but a mix of sun and cloud is what we're looking at. And here's a look at what's happening toward Gatineau and toward Kemptville and Petawawa. Ottawa paramedics say no one was transported to hospital after a crash in Nepean this morning involving an Ottawa police cruiser. The crash happened at the intersection of Clyde Avenue and Maryville Road just before 9:30. The cruiser, an SUV, and a pickup truck were all involved. Paramedics say 2 people were assessed at the scene, but again, no one was hospitalized. Ontario Provincial Police say 3 people have been arrested after gunshots were heard at a home in Pembroke last night. Officers were called to a home in downtown Pembroke on Victoria Street around 7 o'clock in the evening. The incident involved a gunshot and a report of an intimate partner violence. Police say 2 of the individuals were arrested on outstanding warrants, and the 3rd was arrested for failing to comply with a release order. The names of the accused are not being released because of the intimate partner violence allegations in order to protect the identities of the victims. Well, new questions are being raised about the millions of dollars handed out under a provincial skills development fund and photos that show Ontario's Labour Minister at events with those who stood to benefit. CTV's John Woodward has more.
It was a nail-biter overtime game in January 2023, Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers. And then
working wider for Hagee to the net. What a beauty!
Forward William Nylander slips as he celebrates, and right above that, these fans were spotted by a Leafs photographer at their rinkside seats. That's David Piccini, at the time Ontario's Environment Minister. Next to him, Peter Zacharow. Zacharow, in a way, also scored. He's a listed board member of a company called Keel Digital Solutions that trained peer support workers for police officers.
That company got at least $2.7 million from the Skills Development Fund the following year when Piccini was overseeing it as Labour Minister.
Record record show lobbyist Michael Rutherham represented Kiel. Rutherham got married in Paris this month, something that came up Wednesday on News Talk 1010.
I'm looking at a headline in the Trillium.ca that was just handed me. Ontario Labour Minister attended lobbyist's wedding after granting his clients millions in training funds.
Look, I mean, I don't control private sector decisions on who hires whom to represent them. But what I can say to you is I don't need a lobbyist to tell me to support first responders.
The province's opposition NDP says that's another insider connection, like those to a casino, a bakery, and bars, in a fund that Ontario's Auditor General found gave around $750 million in grants via political staff, overruling nonpartisan bureaucrats.
Not fair, transparent, or accountable.
A ministry spokesperson told CTV News Minister Piccini is a lifelong sports fan who purchases his own tickets to games. In 2023, he was serving as Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks and wasn't responsible for any skills development fund money at the time. They added Minister Piccini traveled to Europe for a long-planned private family trip. While abroad, he attended a wedding. Expenses associated with both were paid by him, and he stayed at a different hotel than where the wedding took place. Saying the minister's company in these seats at this game doesn't mean they're on the same team. John Woodward, CTV News.
Well, there are many family-friendly events happening in Ottawa for this Thanksgiving long weekend. Many people out enjoying what the capital has to offer. CTV's Camille Wilson checked out some of those events today and joins us now live in studio to share what's going on. Camille.
Kimberly, it's Thanksgiving long weekend and there's much to do around the capital before the turkey dinners with all the fixings. I spoke with families in Ottawa today, creating experiences and memories. I even made a fluttering memory of my own.
A tropical environment.
It's a pre-Thanksgiving dinner outing for Margaret Bott and her family.
Well, I love butterflies. In fact, I have a butterfly inscribed on my tomb that I'm going to be using. A bee for my husband, a butterfly for me.
And an experience of a lifetime at the 26th Annual Butterfly Show.
Sarah's been wanting to organize this for a long time and was kind enough to go online and get tickets, and here we are. So it's a lovely way to spend an afternoon.
Many families flocked to Carleton University on Saturday to explore the beauty of butterflies.
We import butterflies from around the world, so South America, Asia, and Africa. We get them from butterfly farms, and we bring them to Carleton University in the chrysalis form, and then I get to raise them up to adult form.
And in Navin, the Robert Plant Greenhouses is hosting their Thanksgiving market this weekend.
People are coming from even the West End, East End, all around to come and celebrate Thanksgiving weekend. And buying plants because we're selling plants. And also just chatting or just taking a walk with their family.
With 160 vendors to choose from, selling food, clothes, art, and more.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
It's really well organized, a lot of vendors, and the flow is going really well. And for this weekend, we're going to take it easy and just, lay low. Just, take it easy this weekend.
And of course, picking up a pumpkin for the season too.
We're gonna have a Thanksgiving dinner with pizza.
No matter how the day was spent, it's the memories that will last.
Yeah. So beautiful. But the plants are as beautiful as the butterflies. So it was nice to just find an active corner and watch them. Let them come to you.
The Butterfly Show returns until tomorrow for families to enjoy, explore, and learn more about the life of a butterfly. And the Thanksgiving market wraps up tomorrow as well to enjoy all the fall vibes, treats, beautiful plants of every kind. Kimberly.
Well, Camille, I know you said that you had a little fluttering memory. What happened to you today with the butterflies?
I did. As I was in the greenhouse, a butterfly landed right here on my hair. It looked like a clip, so it was so pretty, but I'll definitely add that in for late. But it was a memory to enjoy and to remember.
For sure. Post it online as well.
Will do.
CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. Thank you. Just a reminder, there are a number of closures and service reductions in Ottawa for Thanksgiving Monday. OC Transpo buses and the O train will be running on a Sunday schedule. There will be no curbside, green bin, recycling, or garbage collection on Monday. That'll be delayed by 1 day all week. All Ottawa client service centers will be closed. Ottawa Public Library branches and municipal childcare centers will be closed. The Rideau Centre, Tanger outlets, and some grocery stores will be open. For a full list of what's open and closed, you can head to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
What they really need
are tens of thousands of peacekeepers, because that's what will be essential to provide security for the people of Gaza and for Israel.
Coming up, a ceasefire in Gaza halts the fighting but brings cautious hope for the thousands affected by the war. CTV's Heather Wright will have more from Tel Aviv when we come back. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at 15 degrees with some overcast skies here in Ottawa.
CTV Ottawa is your home for local news.
Katie Griffin, CTV News in the Byward Market.
Centertown.
Canada.
Stittsville. Bringing you local stories that matter the most to you.
Kimberly Fowler in Westboro.
Orleans. Barhaven.
From every corner of the community.
In the Glebe. Manotick.
Merrickville.
Brockville. From the team you trust, we are CTV News Ottawa.
Live, local, breaking news. CTV News Ottawa.
Here's a live look through our traffic cameras across the Queensway. Again, things are moving very well this hour. We don't have any major traffic stoppages or slowdowns anywhere, even through the construction zone. So if you're out and about, you'll make great time wherever you are. In the Middle East, tens of thousands of Palestinians are returning to their homes in devastated towns and cities in northern Gaza. CTV's Heather Wright is in Tel Aviv tonight with the latest as the brokered ceasefire continues to hold.
Well, you really do get a sense of relief being here, that this ceasefire, this pause in fighting, might actually last. Of course, there have been 2 other ceasefires during this 2-year war that have not lasted. But talking to people, you do get this sense of cautious optimism that the 48 hostages, 20 of whom are still believed to be alive, will be returned on Monday, and that this country can start to return to some sort of normalcy. Also happening on Monday will be the release of roughly 2,000 Palestinians that have been held in Israeli jails. We heard today from the Israeli Prison Service that they've begun moving those people from detention centers around the country to 2 jails in order to facilitate their release on Monday. Also happening that day, U.S. President Donald Trump. He will make a visit to Israel. It's being called an in-and-out visit. He's going to go to Jerusalem and speak to the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. From there, he will go to Cairo, where he will have a peace summit and also sign the formal signing of this ceasefire deal that brings to end this 2-year war in Gaza. But it really is only the beginning for the people in Gaza. We know that the humanitarian situation there is dire. And so while the bombardments have stopped, the next phase of helping the people there rebuild their lives and get back to some level of food, medicine, nutrition, getting the lights turned back on. We understand from the United Nations that over the next few days, the aid is going to be ramped up significantly to get aid to people who need it the most. But keep in mind, the enclave has been significantly damaged over the last 2 years. Roads are difficult to traverse, and so it is going to be a monumental task, not only to rebuild Gaza, but first and foremost to get the aid to the people there who need it the most. Heather Wright, CTV News, Tel Aviv.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on social media he spoke with Prime Minister Mark Carney today. In the post, Zelensky says the 2 leaders spoke about Russia's attacks on Ukrainians and their energy infrastructure. He mentioned the prioritized Ukraine requirements list initiative aimed at providing military equipment to Ukraine. The 2 also spoke about their recent conversation with U.S. President Donald Trump. And in another post to social media, Zelensky says he spoke with and congratulated Trump on his success with brokering a ceasefire deal in the Middle East, saying if one war can be stopped in one region, then others can as well. Zelensky says also called for Russians to engage in diplomacy to end the war in Ukraine. His calls with Trump comes following a massive overnight attack by Russia across parts of Ukraine. The attack cut power to over 1 million homes and businesses. Ukrainian officials say power has since been restored to 240,000 homes in the southern city of Odessa. Officials add 1 person was killed and at least 20 others were injured in the attack. Meantime, Ukraine says it launched drones that struck an oil refinery in Russia earlier today. And U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a massive increase on Chinese tariffs. In a post on his social media site, Trump says starting November 1st or sooner, the U.S. will impose a tariff on 100% on China, or over over and above any tariff that are currently paying. He adds also on November 1st, the U.S. will impose export controls on any and all critical software. Meantime, according to Beijing's top envoy to Canada, China may be ready to change tariff policies toward Canadian agriculture if Ottawa is willing to make changes of its own.
If Canada removes the unilateral unjustified tariffs on Chinese products, China will also reciprocate accordingly. And if the EV tariffs are removed, then China will also remove the tariffs on the relevant products of Canada.
In an exclusive interview airing this Sunday on CTV's Question Period with Vashi Kapelos, Wang Di says the essence of bilateral trade cooperation is a win-win for both sides. China levied 100% tariffs on Canadian canola oil and meal, with a near 76% tariff placed on canola seed. Canada has had 100% tariffs on all EVs imported from China since last October, and 25% tariffs in place on Chinese aluminum and steel. And you can watch Vashi's exclusive interview with China's ambassador to Canada tomorrow on CTV's Question Period at 11 a.m. right here on CTV and on CTV News Channel. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced the Canada Revenue Agency will be automatically filing taxes for up to 5.5 million low-income Canadians. And while the government touts the move as a win, some skeptical about the news are skeptical about the new measures.
The biggest issue with automatic tax filing is that it is a serious conflict of interest to have the CRA acting as both tax filer and tax collector, right? You know, Canadians, you want to keep as much of your own money as possible. The government wants to take more money from you. And look, I always say, trusting the tax man to do your tax return is like trusting your dog to protect your burger.
Federal Director of the Canadian Taxpayer Federation, Franco Terrazzano, says while the government appears well-intentioned, he thinks these measures are a net negative overall, as people with modest incomes already have access to voluntary tax clinics. The Canadian economy added 60,000 jobs last month, but the country's unemployment rate remains steady at just over 7%. CTV's Adrian Goldberg has more now on the job gains and what's preventing them from being even bigger.
This particular unit here,
Rudy Pasquini's stainless steel banding company in Vaughan, Ontario, has been a decades-long passion project.
We're the only ones in Canada that actually do this. We've been doing it since about 2001.
Though his plans to hire have been put on hold after multiple U.S. clients put the brakes on their orders from his Canadian company.
We had a deal cooking in the U.S. that would have probably brought in about $9 million U.S. dollars. And because of the tariffs, it's all been put on hold.
Canada's unemployment rate across the country hovered at an average of 7.1% in September. Excluding the pandemic, this matches the 9-year high that was reached in August. Yet the country's economy also posted a net gain of 60,400 jobs in September, led by manufacturing, which accounted for nearly half of the spike in employment. Though the uptick in manufacturing positions isn't being felt across the board.
Adrian, if we had that U.S. business and there were no tariffs, we would have expanded our operation by at least 10 more people.
The news is especially bleak for those trying to enter the job market. Unemployment among youth and young adults aged 15 to 24 increased to 14.7% in September, the highest it's been in 15 years.
Anytime the labor market has slacked, young people tend to bear the brunt of it.
The modest increase in September was also led by full-time employment opportunities.
Here at Band and Go, Rudy Pasquini is calling on more recognition for the manufacturing sector and a renewed understanding of its ability to grow Canada's GDP and power job growth. Adrian Goldberg, CTV News, Vaughan, Ontario.
And here in the capital, Ottawa's economy lost 11,000 jobs in September. Statistics Canada says Ottawa's unemployment rate jumped to 7.1% from 6.8%. 1 year ago, Ottawa's unemployment rate was 6%. We have some breaking news from the world of entertainment. People magazine is reporting actor Diane Keaton, who won an Oscar for a role in Annie Hall, has died at the age of 79.
You play very well.
Oh, yeah? So do you.
Oh, God, what a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, you play well, and then right away I have to say you play well. Oh, God, Annie. Well, oh, well.
Keaton was also nominated for her roles in Reds, Something's Gotta Give, and Marvin's Room. She's also known for her roles in Father of the Bride, The First Wives Clubs, and the Godfather films. Keaton's family confirmed she died in California, but have released no other details. Keaton is survived by her 2 adopted children. Coming up, we'll take an extended look at the forecast, and thanks to the warm weather, Niagara's wine region is also seeing a surge in sales. We'll have more on that story after the break.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Oh, the public is welcome to celebrate Thanksgiving at Miller's Farm this long weekend. The farm operates all year round with seasonal pick-your-own produce, a garden center, and, of course, the market farm. This time of year, you can pick your own pumpkins. There are also wagon rides running every day, and the corn maze, that's open until October 31st. Well, again, it was a wonderful day if you're out and about here in the Ottawa area. That's another look at Calabogie and the beautiful fall colors in the Ottawa Valley area. So we are dealing with some overcast skies here for Ottawa and surrounding areas. But the good thing is that we don't have any major rain that is coming across. But again, we will be enjoying a lovely Thanksgiving weekend. We'll take a look at what's happening across the country right now. 13 degrees in Charlottetown, overcast skies. Same thing for Halifax. Clear conditions towards Fredericton. They're sitting at 15 degrees. We've got, again, 15 here in Ottawa at the moment with some overcast skies, 14 in Toronto, 14 in Sudbury as well, and dealing with some overcast conditions toward Windsor. They're sitting at 16 degrees. We've got 13 degrees towards Thunder Bay, 18 degrees with some rain in Winnipeg, 24 with some sunny skies in Regina, 23 in Saskatoon. We're looking at 5 degrees, though, in Edmonton and 8 degrees in Calgary. A little bit cooler that we're dealing with there towards the prairies, and 12 degrees with some rain toward the Vancouver area. Closer toward home, we'll take a look at what's happening here. Again, overnight lows, we're looking at about 5 degrees with some overcast skies here for Ottawa. Clear conditions on Sunday, 20 degrees that we're looking at. Towards the Ottawa Valley, same thing. We're looking at some overcast skies. 4 degrees will be the overnight low, 19 degrees and sunny. For your Sunday, clear conditions toward the Seaway overnight, 5 degrees there, mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. We're looking at 20 degrees for you. And here's what's happening for the week ahead here for us in Ottawa. Clear conditions, sunny here in Ottawa, but the overnight lows, check these out. We're hitting to single digits, and we could see some freezing toward the end of next week. So Monday and Tuesday, we have a chance of rain, or sorry, a mix of sun and cloud, I should say. 17 degrees for your high on Monday. Tuesday, we're looking at 19 degrees. Wednesday, it cools down a bit, but sunshine, 12 degrees there, 12 as well on Thursday. But the overnight low, check that out, 0 degrees on Thursday into Friday. And we could see maybe a sprinkle on Friday. Same thing for your Saturday. Well, over this Thanksgiving weekend, producers in Ontario's Niagara wine region are giving thanks for a great stretch of weather this harvest season. New numbers are showing a sales surge for domestic wines. And CTV's John Benavali-Rao has more on how Donald Trump's trade war is offering a silver lining for wine producers with the border.
In Ontario's Niagara region, the grape harvest is well underway. You can see the workers among the row upon row of vines at Hidden Bench Vineyard and Winery, where they've been busy snipping and picking the Pinot Noir.
This year's been a pretty good year. It's been pretty dry, which helps us at this time of year, reduces our mildew.
Fruit that's sorted by hand and grapes that'll be turned into wine, seeing strong demand amid the push to buy Canadian.
Sales have been up a tremendous amount, to the point that, we have to be careful that we don't run out of wine.
Vineyard owner Harold Teal says some of his sales have doubled ever since Ontario and other provinces pulled American alcohol from store shelves. At nearby Westcott Vineyard, it's the same story, and they expect sales to keep growing.
We were already experiencing some growth, but with those U.S. wines coming off, we've just had some really significant great growth.
That growth reflected in the latest numbers. In Ontario, sales of some local wines are up 67% in government-run stores. For reds, it's 80%. As consumers switched to domestic wine instead of products from places like California. Of course, the big question now, what happens when the boycott in Ontario comes to an end? Wine producers say since March, they've heard from plenty of people who'd been previously reluctant to buy their wines.
They are trying Ontario wine, and they're finding that it is really good quality wine.
And once the boycott is lifted, they expect some won't switch back.
Once Canadians taste these wines, they go, why would we buy U.S. wines going forward?
And as the harvest continues, a potential trade war upside worth toasting. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Lincoln, Ontario.
They kept saying there was another problem and they needed more money. Foolishly, we gave them more than we should have.
Well, after the break, in case you missed it this week, we'll revisit the story of an Ottawa homeowner who lost $90,000 to a contractor scam.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It's time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea, what have you got for us?
Your Ottawa Senators have their home opener on Monday. Kachuk and all your other favorite players are facing off against the Nashville Predators, plus fun for the whole family pregame with live entertainment and lots more. Tickets are still available, so get yours before they are gone. Go Sens, go! Next up, if you want to get outside this weekend, try the Maple Leaf March. This is a non-competitive walking event that promotes recreational fitness while showcasing all of Ottawa's best monuments, memorials, landmarks, and lots more. All routes start and end at the Royal Canadian Legion Montgomery branch. You can register online to reserve your spot, and this is a great one for everyone. Last today, this weekend marks the second annual Thanksgiving market at Robert Plant Greenhouses. Head to Navin for loads of fall vibes, treats, and more with over 130 local vendors on site. Sounds awesome. Definitely checking this one out myself. For the details on all these events and the full list of everything happening around the capital this weekend, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, in case you missed it this week, an Ottawa homeowner is out $90,000 after falling victim to an alleged contractor scam. A small home repair turned into a nightmare, and now she's sharing her story, hoping to stop this from happening to someone else. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more.
This was fine, and all of a sudden, we've got cracks and missing pieces, which...
It started with a knock at her door in August and a man offering to repair the cement along her house, a simple job, or so Jocelyn Calos thought.
We needed a bit of parging. He said, well, we're working down there. We're very willing to help you out.
He told her he was with a company called HomeSense Contractors, offering to do the work for $11,500. But soon after, the price started climbing.
They had two guys dig up right down to the bottom of the basement. They kept saying there was another problem and they needed more money. Foolishly, we gave them more than we should have.
By the time the digging stopped, Calos says she paid $90,000. Instead of repairs, she says she was left with more damage and the workers never came back.
They injected something under the house and we don't know what they put in. It was a horrendous mess. I mean, it was just a ridiculous job.
Then came another knock, this time from a man calling himself Kevin Smith, claiming to be a City of Ottawa inspector.
He had an official tag on saying he was an inspector of the city, and then on the reverse, he'd been a former police officer.
She says he recommended another company, Harbor Trade Construction, to fix the damage. A company with no phone number, no address, and no website linked to Ottawa, asking for another $43,000, which she refused to pay. And the city confirms no inspector ever visited her home.
Now we have to get the whole thing redone because we realize now that we've been defrauded royally.
CTV News tried contacting HomeSense contractors, but their listed number went straight to voicemail, and their address on their website leads to an unrelated business. Police say they are investigating, and this kind of scam isn't rare.
This is actually the biggest one that's going around, and it comes around in the spring and it comes around in the fall. It goes by different names: the Irish paver scam, the construction scam, the roof scam, and it's pretty much all the same scam. They give you a price, and then the price keeps escalating, and then they eventually just walk away.
As for Kellos, she says she's not only out of money, but has no idea how much it will cost to fix the damage left behind.
By bringing this attention to many other people, particularly older people, that, you know, we're very trusting sometimes, and we perhaps shouldn't be as trusting as we are.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Waitlist doctors, delays and doctor shortages, I should say, are adding to the pain felt by many Canadians, some waiting years for surgeries they desperately need. CTV's Kathy Lee has the story of one Alberta man and the lengths he was willing to go to get some relief.
Each step a revelation for Gary Garby, the pain that once consumed him.
It was excruciating. I was bedridden for the most part.
Now becoming a dull memory thanks to surgery on his hip.
It started off as mild osteoarthritis. From there to severe, to the bones were grinding, to the ball collapsing and fracturing.
But relief wasn't found in a Canadian hospital. The 64-year-old flew to Lithuania for the procedure because the wait time at home could have been a year or two.
I couldn't wait. I was just like, I was losing it.
We would have sold things if we needed to in order to go and get this done. It was at that point. The surgery alone was $16,000.
But that price tag's still cheaper than a private clinic back home. Some places almost double. Garby's surgery was facilitated by Med Travel Solutions. It says 95% of patients are from Canada, and they try to schedule everything within 6 weeks.
This is a growing phenomenon. The Canadian healthcare system is letting patients down, so they're giving up and going elsewhere. They don't want to wait.
In a statement, the province says there is more work to do to reduce wait times across our healthcare system, but that Alberta continues to perform better than the national average in surgical wait times in 4 areas: hip replacement, hip fracture repair, knee replacement, and radiation therapy. Still, for Garby, the system failed him.
It's hard to comprehend that you'd have to travel that far to something that like this severity in order to remedy it.
But now the focus is on the future. With each day, he feels closer to reclaiming the life
things are just going to get better from here on in.
He thought he had lost. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Strathmore, Alberta.
All right, up next, we check in on the fun at the log farm and some of the other family activities happening across the capital. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us for what you need to know when we come back.
Dream big with Move 100. Now, dream $20,000 bigger. Starting next week, listen for your chance to win $20,000. Dream big, win bigger with Ottawa's Move 100. Hey.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
In tonight's Big Picture, thousands took a dip in a giant pilgrimage honoring the patron saint of the Brazilian Amazon. The boat procession transports the image of the patron saint through the waters under the watch of hundreds of devotees. During the journey, the faithful attend masses to pray. Now, on to some other stories you need to know right now. Let's bring in CTV's Natalie Van Roy for what's happening around town. Natalie, what have you got for us?
Thanks, Kim. Well, Canada Post workers have switched to rotating strikes starting this morning, ending the countrywide walkout that spanned more than 2 weeks. This comes as mail and parcel delivery is set to resume on a limited basis in the coming weeks. However, Canada Post warns uncertainty and instability will persist, and all service guarantees will be suspended. The union represents 55,000 postal workers. They've been striking since September 25th, when the federal government announced changes to the mail carrier's business model. Now, that includes ending door-to-door delivery for all Canadians within the next decade. All things Taylor Swift were on display today for the Showgirl Market. The Swiftie-themed event at the Greeley Good Market featured local vendors, glitter, lyric-inspired shirts, and handmade goods to celebrate the release of Taylor Swift's new album. Our very own Tanea Taylor also performed live music, and the event ran from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and supported the CHEO Foundation. Well, it's the final weekend for the National Capital Commission's Weekend Bike Days. The NCC reserves some of its parkways for active use like biking and jogging. Today, tomorrow, and the holiday Monday, the KGZB will be closed to vehicles from 8 a.m. to noon. The Sir George Etienne Cartier Parkway from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the Queen Elizabeth Driveway from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Well, that looks like fun, and it was a fun afternoon at the log farm in the National Capital Greenbelt. Families checked out the Working Heritage Farm, which has chickens, ducks, horses, sheep, and a donkey. And there's also a corn maze, wake and ride, and plenty of fun activities for all ages. Well, the city of Kingston has chosen their official city birds. The cardinal and the crow now rule the roost, and bird enthusiasts flock to the polls to have their say. The survey, which included 16 local bird species to choose from, received more than 1,650 votes. Cardinal and crow got 339 votes each. While the red-winged blackbird, the blue jay, and the mourning dove rounded out the top 5. Kim.
Natalie, are you a big bird person?
I remember when I would see like a red cardinal, it'd be very exciting. Mm-hmm. So I would spot them once in a while in my parents' garden.
Oh, that's nice. We'll have to channel our inner Graham Richardson for birds talk next time.
That's
but yeah.
for you, Graham.
Yeah. All right, and speaking of Blue Jays.
The 1-2 pitch. Got him!
All right, coming up, the match is set up for the American League Championship Series. We'll tell you who's heading to Toronto for Game 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays for Game 1 tomorrow. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Sun setting, we're looking at 15 degrees. Again, still dealing with some overcast skies here in the capital.
Tonight, more Canadians are having a tougher time buying the basics this Thanksgiving.
We have clients now that were donors a few years ago.
The growing need at food banks and the struggle to keep the shelves stocked later on CTV National News.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
It's a lot of people in a very small space.
The debate continues over plans for 3 new high-rise buildings going up near the Queensway Carleton Hospital along Baseline Road.
Get out of the city, enjoy the colors, and beautiful weekend.
It's the last weekend to take in the fall colors in the Ottawa Valley on a unique ride in Calabogie and have a look at the leaves before they fall for the season.
Everyone loves the show. They love that it comes back every year.
A little bit of sunshine, some butterflies, and markets. We're giving thanks for the activities and events taking place across the capital for the Thanksgiving long weekend. All right, we'll have a final check of your weather as well as your 7-day forecast. Here's a look at your wake-up weather. We have 5 degrees here. We have some overcast skies in the overnight, but things clearing out in toward the morning and then heading in toward your Sunday. Here's a quick look at what's happening for the week ahead. Sunny with 20 degrees for your Sunday. Holiday Monday, 17 degrees. We have a mix of sun and cloud. The overnight low then dropping down to 6 degrees as well. Tuesday looks like it's going to be more of the same, but then the sun rolls out again on Wednesday. 12 degrees will be the high. Same thing for Thursday. All right, now time to check in to see what our news team is working on for tonight. CTV's Natalie Van Roy still here. What's happening tonight, Natalie?
Well, thanks, Kim. It's a busy weekend in sports. Tonight, the Sens are back on the ice facing off with the Florida Panthers. The Ottawa Senators will go up against the 2-time Stanley Cup champions in the Sunshine State. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Also this weekend, the Sens home openers on Thanksgiving Monday. where the team will take on the Nashville Predators on home ice at 1 p.m. Get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca, and join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, thank you, Natalie. All right, we now know who the Toronto Blue Jays' opponent will be in the ALCS.
Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
The Seattle Mariners, they walked it off against the Detroit Mariners in a 5-game, 15-inning winner-take-all marathon last night. The Jays and Mariners face off in Game 1 tomorrow night in Toronto. First pitch is set for just after 8 o'clock. And Natalie, you're a Blue Jays fan too, just like all of us?
That is going to be a very fun game in Toronto. I can just imagine the GO train going downtown. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be busy and it's going to be wonderful. And we're going to be supporting the Blue Jays the whole way, right through the playoffs. Well, that's CTV News for this Saturday, October the 11th. Natalie's back for your late news at 11:30. Until then, have a good night.